welcome to the channel. I'm going to tap in and get you a message. I hope you're doing well. Central energy, please. Spirit, central energy for the collective. The Wheel of Fortune. A return to the beginning. Only on a higher level. In the challenge position. The Four of Wands. A homecoming. Bringing stability to the foundation in the subconscious. We've got a wish come true. Nine of Cups. And the Page of Wands. Excitement, freedom, and limitless potential. A wish come true. Got lots of ideas. In the recent past, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Coming into the fruits of your labor. Intentions and expectations. Something is happening very quickly. In the near future. We've got we've got the Queen of Cups here. So the love, High Priestess. This is sacred, moral love, and it could be coming in very you're persevered. So the two together is persevering through challenges with the hard work that they're doing together. So there's that. In the near future, please, Spirit. It came out and flipped into the reverse. We've got the Star reversed. So very quickly we got a disconnect. There could be a disconnect happening. Somebody's in despair. They've lost you. The lens is being looked through. Knight of Cups and King of Wands. There could be a proposal coming. Maybe the Knight of Cups is being guided by the King of Wands. In the environment, we have this, the Five of Wands. Competition. Hopes and fears. Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands. So it looks like these knights are wanting to fight with this king for some kind of connection. They got disconnected. In the outgoing energy, we've got strength. And somebody is disconnected from the Ten of Pentacles and they're in a tower. It could be that there's a King of Cups who's in a tower and in a nightmare because they betrayed love. So there's a King of Cups, and it looks like he's sending forward these knights to fight with this King of Wands, who may have this Four of Wands union here, celebration, marriage, disconnecting people from the star. So it's like this King of Cups who betrayed love and played games with love, are sending forward these knights to compete with the Five of Wands, with this King of Wands, who is going to overcome the challenges because he's very strong. These people they're gonna fail and they have to leave. They gotta leave, but they're still trying to get a love offer because they're in a Ten of Wands burden for the history of what they've been doing. This is a completion of that cycle. So it's winding down. We've got disconnection from the star, and these knights are wanting to fight, and it looks like they're wanting to fight on behalf of this King of Cups that betrayed love. They're wanting to take out this King of Wands. Who has the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles here. And no, they can't have it. So, okay, so we got the Wheel of Fortune here. A return to the beginning. On a higher level, we've got justice here. Justice. The law of cause and effect. What you put out is what you get. And according to the Hierophant. So you got the Most High, as far as I can see. That's what I see when I look at this. The Most High is turning the wheel. The law of cause and effect here. Justice is being delivered and the cycle is being closed out. There is a Four of Wands. That's the challenge. Coming home. Homecoming. Marriages. Stability on the foundation. We've got Six of Cups that came out and flopped into the reversed. There's a moving forward. Leaving home. A wish come true is here. Excitement and freedom, and then the Five of Wands in the reversed. So that is ending the conflict. You're free. The Hierophant is here, delivering justice. The law of cause and effect, and closing out this damn cycle. So there's the Four of Wands community, the foundation. So the foundation for the marriages, for the families and all of that. There's some folks here getting booted out. Six of Cups reversed. Somebody's got to leave. Nine of Pentacles in the recent past. You're coming into the reward for the fruits of your labor. People are upset. They're losing everything. These devious and deceiving masculines they're upset because they're losing everything. This King of Cups is in a tower. They betrayed love, and they're sending in these little minions, these knights, to make war with this King of Wands. We've got Page of Swords. So you got the fruits of your labor. Page of Swords here. So there's negotiations, contracts. Somebody might be spying. We've got something happening very quickly, or there's some kind of air travel. Could be telepathy. Ace of Cups. So very quickly, there's quick decisions being made in regard to love, in regard to marriages. We've got the Star in the reversed. Knight of Wands. So this Knight, there's a disconnection from the Star energy by this Knight of Wands. There's a disconnect. They've been disconnected from the light. They're in despair. And they're behaving unpredictably. Knight of Cups is in the lens. Let's look through there. It looks like they're coming. They're right there. Yeah, crap. So this Knight of Cups and this King of Wands, they're looking at each other. So this King of Wands is looking at this Knight of Cups. And then on the other side of him, we've got this King of Cups. Now what we saw here was we've got a Tower and a Nightmare for this King of Cups who betrayed love. So it looks like this Knight is distracting this King of Wands while the King of Cups is on the other side of him. He's surrounded here, and we've got the Five of Wands in the environment, conflict, competition. What's going on with this competition spirit? We've got the Moon in the reverse. So what was hidden is seen. There's no fear. There's no illusions. Hopes and fears. We've got the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is looking to travel, so they could be traveling. They want to get in the middle of this King of Wands business. They got disconnected from the Star. So you got a Knight of Wands that's fearlessly passionate, and they're moving forward, making plans. Okay, we got strength here in the outgoing energy, and we got Seven of Wands. So the strength, it looks to me like the strength of somebody is somebody's overwhelmed. Seven of Wands reversed. So they're failing at whatever they're doing. So the strength, I believe, the strength of this King of Wands is causing them a failure. But we're going to get more clarification here. They're exhausted. They've been disconnected from the Star. They have no energy. And the Emperor is going to deliver a Ten of Swords. A Ten of Swords right into the little monkeys. We've got the Page of Cups here with a new love, and it's working with the team. So this Page of Cups is here working with the team to bring death to your life of luxury. The life of luxury for the Empress Star. This new abundant manifestation. They're weighing their options. They're trying to negotiate. They're in a nightmare. So they're still here working together. You got a Page. So there's this, the Emperor is bringing a freaking Ten of Swords. He's collapsing this business. But you've got a Page of Cups, a Knight of Cups, a Knight of Wands. And a Knight of Wands is out here twice. So that's 4. 3 Knights and a Page that have been disconnected from the Star. They don't have any energy, and yet they're coming up as a group with the King of Cups to attack this King of Wands, because the King of Cups has lost everything. So these ones are coming up as a team to bring death to the life of luxury for the Empress star. They're going to be, so they want this abundance. They want this abundance. They want to negotiate. So they may kind of try to come in and negotiate to get part of this charity, to get part of this opportunity. But their intentions are not good. It looks to me like this Queen of Pentacles is going to be bringing a nightmare to these guys. Or they're in a nightmare. Take it as it resonates, because we've got 5 of Cups and the Devil. Yeah, they are suffering a loss. Codependent devils are suffering a loss because the King of Wands is victorious. Okay, so there's clarification. This strength is for the King of Wands. It's exhausting his enemies. So we got 3 Knights, a Page, and a King of Cups. They're all in a tower because they betrayed love and they got disconnected from the star, from the revitalizer, from the rejuvenator, from the wealth, from life. The wheel is turning. Justice is being served. The law of cause and effect. The Hierophant is here, who I see as the Most High. And we've got the World card. So he's bringing a completion to this stuff. It's trustworthy. I trust your inner voice. Acceptance. Acceptance. Accept the things you cannot change. The law of cause and effect. The challenge is the 4 of Wands, removing, so there's removing some folks. Some folks got to get out of this foundation. They got to get out. Abundance. They got to get out. They got to get out of your they got to get off your foundation, and they got to stop messing with your abundance. Wish come true. You're free. You're free of this conflict. The conflict is ending. They have to accept the things they cannot change. They got to leave. You've got grief in the reverse. So there's no more grief. We want to end the conflict. Somebody's happy about that. The 9 of Pentacles here, you're coming into the fruits of your labor, and you got a Page of Swords here. Negotiations and contracts, and you've got blame. So this page is blaming somebody. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. We've got swift action for love and service. So very quickly, very speedily, we're moving into this new chapter of love. People who are of service, not servants, not slaves, but people who are here to uplift others, And some people, they got being of service. They swapped it around and treated them as though they were a slave, and insisted that this star owed them a decent life. and it's just not true. So there's a disconnection for this Knight of Wands. And they don't know what to do. Knight of Cups is right here and looking, it's like he's distracting this King of Wands while this King of Cups is on the other side there trying to control things. He has no balance. This King of Cups is out of balance, but he's, so just beware, King of Wands, you're being distracted by a Knight of Cups, by this Prince Charming, Mr. Romance, fighting with you, while this King of Cups is working to upset your balance, your harmony. They're working here with this competition, this conflict, but there's the moon in the reverse, so you may see it. You may see it. We've got forgiveness. So it could be that whoever is bringing you conflict is confused. They may come in and ask for forgiveness. Like this Knight of Cups may come into this King of Wands and say, oh, I'm sorry for everything I did. I'm really sorry about this competition. You know, try to make a confession or something and asking for forgiveness. But on the other side of this conversation, somewhere in the background, you've got this King of Cups who's in a tower because he betrayed love and he's losing everything, and he has no balance, and it's like he's kind of doing something. He's doing something to bring conflict. But you are disciplined. You see, you can accomplish whatever. Well, look at this. So they're asking for forgiveness in the environment. Hopes and fears. We've got this Knight of Wands, which is right here in the near future, also being disconnected from the star. They don't know what to do. Their hope is that they can come forward and be reconciled with somebody who can accomplish whatever they set their mind to. So they're coming in with this passionate energy, but you can't trust it. You can't trust this person. Your strength is overwhelming them. Causing them a failure. We've got health in the reverse, so there could be something going on with their health. Their confidence is destroyed. You've got your freedom here. They have failed, and you're entering in. Your mind is happy. You want happiness in the mind. Relationships should serve the higher good, and those who wish to bring adversity to love are being denied. They're being denied, and they're afraid of this change. They're in regret because they have to surrender their need to control. They have to surrender their need to control peace, which is your purpose. This is death. Everything happens in divine order. Your patience and you're waiting patiently for alignment and all of this according to the Most High is bringing about a death here. So it's ending. It's ending. The Most High is here right now. There is a Ten of Swords ending for these people. They're wanting to come forward and play a game still. There's at least, so we got 1, 2, 3, that page, 4, and we got another page here, 5, and then you've got the King of Cups. They're all surrounding this King of Wands. But the King of Wands isn't alone, because the King of Wands knows how to put together a team. Divinely inspired, divinely guided. The wheel is turning, justice is being served, the law of cause and effect is happening. The Hierophant is here, completing this cycle. These ones need to accept the things that they cannot change. It's over, but they're protesting. They need to accept the things they cannot change, but they're protesting. There's a Four of Wands here and a Six of Cups reversed. They have to leave home. That's the challenge. This Hierophant is kicking these people out of the Four of Wands, out of the foundation, because these people were wearing masks pretending to be limitless abundant beings, and they're simply not. They have to get out. They're just fakers, pretenders. There's a wish come true here. You are free. This is the end of the conflict. They're not able to bring you grief. With their profession. You're coming into the fruits of your labor for all of the suffering you went through. And there is a Page of Swords here, spying and trying to blame you still for their trouble, for their lack. They think you owe them. They think of you as a slave. This Page. So they're being separated. They're being separated. We've got air travel. There are quick decisions being made regarding this new love, this big old cup of love. And love feels good when they can help others, but not when others are stabbing them in the heart with knives and sticking them in a suffering state and then pulling off of their energy and their gifts like they owe them to them, like they demand it, and cause you pain while they extract it out of you. And that's not how being of service works. That's not how love works. Death in the reverse. They could not stop your service. They could not stop this being of love who feels good when they can help others. They tried to unalive this person and they were not able to. So they've been disconnected from this person. Star in the reverse. Mr. Charming doesn't know what to do. They're in despair. They don't have access to the energy anymore. They're not friends. You know they're not friends. This whole network, it's like cut off. They don't know what to do. But we have a Knight of Cups here and a King of Cups. They are surrounding this King of Wands. There's one on either side. He's being distracted by this Knight of Cups. The King of Cups is working in the background, trying to destroy balance and harmony, or he's out of balance and harmony. He's suffering a tower because he destroyed or betrayed love. And he's not going to be able to persevere through whatever this is. He doesn't have any balance. In the environment, we've got the Five of Wands, conflict. It's like somebody is confused and they want forgiveness because you triumphed. Because you triumphed. There's a hope or a fear. It looks to me like a hope. You've got the Knight of Wands here, Mr. Passion, trying to reconcile with somebody who can accomplish whatever they set their mind to. You can't trust this person. They're not trustworthy. They want your real estate. They want your real estate. They want to take part in your business. They want to take part in your real estate. But this person is untrustworthy. This untrustworthy person wants to attach themselves to a disciplined person who overcame their challenge, their conflict, their warring nature. Your strength has destroyed their confidence and they're exhausted. Their health is failing. Their health is failing because of all of the death magic, all of the sick magic, all of the unaliving magic, all of that stuff that they were trying to push out to you. So their health is failing due to the magic that they did. They had a strategy to bring a nightmare to the gift. And now they're in danger for messing around with the mind of that one, and it's back on them. This mental stuff is on them. They're having a crisis. Their health is failing due to the magic. This religious trap that they set for you so that they could fight with you and rob you. They're in it because you have reached your goals. You may remember who you are. There's unity here. You're the blessing. They've called you the unifier. You care about family, and we've got living and learning. So you care about living and learning. You care about family. You care about children. You care about the future. You care about their training and their development. And there's justice being delivered to this bully. They may be embarrassed. They want to compromise. You've got a new family tree here, and there's a reward. Vital force, vital life force. This star energy is going to a new family tree, going to a whole new chapter. These knights, these pages, this King of Cups, these people who left you alone, they, while they hurt you and tried to unalive you, while they were being served by your services, your love, your light, they were draining your 9 of Cups or 9 of Pentacles, and they're fighting you now for it. They want it. But your alliances are here. They're like, we're not going to hear this. We're not going to deal with it. You guys are going to stop is what you're going to do. And there's good news. There's a miracle. These third wheel enemies are being confined. And they're furious because this marriage is happening. And they can't look into it. They're blind. They can't look into it. These who were tempted to move against it. There's a coach that needs to get ready to, they're going to get sick. They're sick. There's evidence, and there's an investigation, and there's evidence of everything. This high value person has received mercy, has received aid, because these ones were trying to bind the mind of this star, and now they've lost it. They've lost it. Why? Because you love yourself, and love conquers all. And now they're overloaded, overwhelmed, and they want forgiveness. They want to apologize, and it's not a real apology. You're making plans to get out of here. You're on schedule, and they're frightened by their fate. They're frightened by what's coming for them because their intentions are their gift. You have your halo. You're in this high vibing energy. You have inner peace here, and these ones are being rejected. You're okay. They're being rejected for trying to dominate your vow, your future, your purpose, your promise. These ones who were indulging on your energy, on your stuff here, they're having a natural disaster. They don't know what to do. They're full of pride. And this sweetheart who has a lot of merit is moving into eternal love. That's just the way it goes. With sweet dreams. And these ones are stressed out because it's the conclusion. You have come into the fruits of your labor and you have a new family. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, and you've got a promise worth saving. You have a guarantee, so you can relax, because these ones are getting cast away because they were trying to curse your purpose. They don't get to take part in your purpose. They don't get to take part in your Nine of Pentacles or your Nine of Cups. They don't get to take part in feasting on your energy or your light. They don't get anything because you're triumphing here, and the magic is backfiring on them and their health is failing. They're exhausted. They can't pull off the energy of the star anymore. This whole network of people don't know what to do. They could not unalive you. They could not stop your purpose. They're complaining that you're too psychic. They're complaining because their nastiness is seen, and you're announcing it. You're alerting people to it. It's like, this is what's happening. You're telling God. You're telling the Most High. Papa. The one whose reputation that these ones were attempting to destroy by wearing the body and using the phallus and the hands and the voice and the everything to degrade and defile everything in a brutal manner. God's not happy about that. So the law of cause and effect is in order. They're getting what they deserve, according to He who has all authority. So the world this is a completion. The Hierophant is here completing this cycle. They have to accept the things that cannot change, but they're protesting anyway. People are talking. There's a lot of conversation. Everybody's talking. This Four of Wands is here. There's a homecoming, and the challenge is to get rid of the mask wear. They got to leave. They got to get out of this, off this foundation. They got to go because they're pretenders. They're not who they say they are. They were pretending to be an abundant, limitless being. It was all fraud. It was all fraud. They were energy harvesting off of others. They were transferring their sin onto others. They were being nasty and putting nasty energy onto the ones that they were trying to replace. The gifts that they wanted to steal by unaliving, by condemning somebody else with their filthy little karmic energies and witchery and wizardry. It was all a fraud. They're a fraud. They're not a limitless abundant being. It's all pretend. They're an actual foe. There was an enemy in the camp wearing a mask, pretending that they were a limitless abundant being, but all that was harvested energy and a stolen identity. So you got a Nine of Cups here. You're free of this conflict. It's over. They could not cause you grief, or they cannot cause you grief with their profession. Or maybe your profession is to end grief. Maybe that's your profession. Your profession is to end this house. You're going to end grief in the house. You're going to bring an end to grief in the house. You're going to end this conflict. You're ending this conflict. It's your profession. Peacekeeper, unifier. You're coming into your Nine of Pentacles, your life of luxury, but there is a Page of Swords here who's spying on contracts. They were trying to blame you for their nasty habits, and now they're being separated. They're separated from the room. They're separated from the mind. This could be an online community. It could be telepathy. So, yes, because we've got the Eight of Wands here, so there's air. So it could be that whoever this page is losing their gifts. They can no longer speak in the room, in the mental body. And it could be that they're being separated out of an online community. Maybe you blocked them. So we've got quick action here on behalf of love and marriage, of people who are in service to others. They could not unalive them and then take their place. They did not get their wings. So they're disconnected from the star. This Knight of Wands is out here unpredictable. This whole network of friends that he has, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. We've got enemy in the reverse. You weren't an enemy. Now they want to be friends. They came after you. You weren't an enemy. They were just full of pride. So there's a Knight of Cups here, and it looks like he's looking right at the King of Wands here. It could be that these knights, some of these knights are being guided by the King of Wands, but they're looking right at each other. To me, it feels like this Knight of Cups is trying to distract the King of Wands. We've got the King of Cups here who's out of balance. They're not persevering. And we've got Sweetheart. We've got no balance, no perseverance, and then Sweetheart. So there's a King of Cups here that wants to strip the balance and the ability to endure out of this Sweetheart. So yeah, they're distracting this King of Wands while they go after the Sweetheart. His Sweetheart. That's exactly what they're doing. The Knight of Cups is distracting the King of Wands while this King of Cups is trying to strip the balance and the ability to survive through a challenge from this Sweetheart. But we have in the environment of Five of Wands here, competition, rivalry, conflict, and the Moon is in the reverse. So there's no illusions, there's no mystery, and you're not afraid. Somebody may have misinterpreted something and want your forgiveness because you triumph over this. Wife. Victory for the wife. So this King of Cups is trying to attack the Sweetheart while somebody is distracting the King of Wands. Whoever was competing here, they're confused and seeking forgiveness because there's been a victory for this wife, this Sweetheart. This King of Cups is in a freaking tower because he betrayed love. And guess what? This Sweetheart doesn't belong to him anymore. It looks to me like this Sweetheart is part of the King of Wands stuff, and she's a star, and these other folks are disconnected from her essence because look at them. You got the Page, the freaking Knight, the freaking Knight of Cups, the freaking Knight of Wands out here twice, and the King of Cups. 5 different masculines are trying to distract this King of Wands so they can mess around with this Sweetheart wife, but there is a victory for her. They want forgiveness. Knight of Wands is here hoping for reconciliation with your discipline. You're disciplined. Maybe they're promising to be disciplined, but they're untrustworthy. They want to come in to your real estate. We've got constancy or consistency. They're consistently untrustworthy. They want to attach themselves to you because you're disciplined in what you do. They want to take part in your business and your life. Your strength here has caused them a failure. The magic that they were doing on you is causing a failure for the health. So they're exhausted. Their health is failing. They're because of all this magic they did. We've got Widower. So they're wearing a blindfold. they're hopeful or something, but there's a widower coming up here. And this servant is in a misfortune, or perhaps they're losing their spouse because they were trying to take out this sweetheart. Take out this sweetheart. So they're losing their health because of all the magic that they did. Lover, as a lover boy. Or on lovers. And they're sad because you can see that they're false. And there's joy here because this is the end. There's death. There's death to love for them. There's no more being a lover for these ones. This is the end of their relationship with batteries. They're being disconnected from the star, from the energy source. They're here trying to do something with this sweetheart. Or maybe they're out of balance and they're not persevering because of this sweetheart, this wife who has a triumph here. Yeah. So they tried what? There's a doctor and there's love. They need to go see Dr. Love. They need to go see a doctor because of your love. And there's cheerfulness here about this reunion. This priest is in despair over a service that he provided with children or to the innocents. A while back, I received the message that there's a billion-dollar church or a multi-billion-dollar church out there somewhere that's not an actual church. It's a pedophile network. So yeah, so we've got that. All right. What else we got, Spirit? Yeah, those people who were pretending to be limitless abundant beings, who were actual enemies in the foundation, in this foundation, are getting cleaned out. Why are they getting cleaned out? Because this sweetheart wife is here and the Hierophant is here. There's a connection to Source, Creator. There's a connection to the Most High. And justice is being delivered. The law of cause and effect. They put out a bunch of magic to destroy the health and well-being of people. It's all coming back and their health is being destroyed. Look, there's a lot of conversation going on here about them deliberately manipulating people's minds. We've got positive in the reverse. Their intentions were not pure. So this card says, my intentions are pure and I only want to improve your life. So they were not here to improve the life of anybody. They were here to deliberately manipulate your perception of reality until you were doubting your own experiences. People are talking about this. We've got protests. They're protesting. They have to accept the things that they cannot change. They're not a very nice person. So they're getting kicked out of the foundation here. The Four of Wands territory for the community. These people who were wearing masks, these enemies, these foes who were wearing masks, are being removed from memories. Like this is memories, this is nostalgia. It's like they're being removed from the memories. For the past, living in the past, whatever it was that they were doing. It could be that they tried to mimic you again in this cycle, but they were living in the past. They were mimicking an old version of you, so it didn't work out. This person is a mask-wearing foe, pretending to be a limitless abundant being. The only gifts that they had and the only light that they had was harvested off of somebody that they were causing suffering for. Because they're envious. Yeah, so the Most High God is removing them from that foundation, and that is great news. It's a wish come true. You're free of these people. The conflict is ending. There's no more grief here in the house. And we've got check in. You got a life of luxury coming here, and there's a page of swords that's been spying on some contracts. They were trying to place responsibility for their own well-being onto others. So they were spying on other people's contracts, and then they were being devious in the mental body, and now they're getting kicked out. They're getting kicked out of telepathy land. They're getting kicked out of this online community. They're getting separated from love, from a partner. Like there's not going to be any more love partners, no more contracts, and they're desperate. They're desperate. They can't tap into the mental body of anybody. They're like, well, who has a house? Who has a job? Who can I go siphon off of, parasite off of? Well, they can't anymore. They're being separated out, and they're desperate. I heard a while back, a couple of weeks ago, somebody was dumpster diving. They haven't eaten solid food in days. I mean, these people, you know, they decided that to destroy somebody else so that they could put a bite of food in their mouth was the way to go. You know, I don't know. But very quickly, there are some quick decisions being made on behalf of love. The Ace of Cups, love, compassion, and marriage. The service. These marriages that are in service, here to help others. These liars, cheats, and thieves were not able to cause you a death. They did not earn their wings. They're venting. They got to get something off their chest. They may be yelling. They may be mad. We've got the Star. They're disconnected from your energy. They're disconnected from your revitalization. This passionate Mr. Prince Charming Knight of Wands doesn't know what to do, and neither does the whole network of friends that he has. And we've got enemy in the reverse. They came after somebody who was not their enemy, and they treated them real bad. You're not dealing with them anymore. You don't have to. They tried to hurt you. They need a friend. Look, revenge. So they're trying to mask themselves as though they're not an enemy so that they can get back in your energy and then get revenge. That could be what's up with this Knight of Cups. He's coming forward, and he may be seeking guidance from this King of Wands. It's a distraction. They're being friendly right now, looking to damage you in retaliation. So there's the distraction here with this Knight of Cups. We've got this King of Cups here who's completely out of balance. He's not persevering. There's a sweetheart here. What's going on with this sweetheart? So he wants to collaborate with this sweetheart. So while this King of Wands is distracted, there's a King of Cups here who's failing. He's in a tower because he betrayed love, and he's trying to get in with this sweetheart and work with this sweetheart. So this is a nasty little thing. There's this conflict here. There's confusion. There's no illusion. There's no fear. They cannot cause an illusion for you with this conflict anymore. They want your forgiveness because you triumphed. You're the wife. And we've got tribe. So you could be a wife in a new tribe. You may have a new tribe. And Spirit Divine said earlier that, you know, these ones lost their wish come true when they came for you, and that you're being granted a new family tree. That these ones here, these F-boys, are a failed experiment. So you got a new family, and they have triumphed over this hogwash here. So you've got the Knight of Wands, and he's coming in. They're trying to be impulsive. They're greedy. They want reconciliation. They may be traveling toward you. They want to get involved with somebody who is disciplined, but you can't trust this person. They're untrustworthy. Gift. Constancy. So they're untrustworthy. They're in it for what? This is consistently what they do is they get Mr. Passion. They come in with all this passion energy to reconcile, to work with somebody who is disciplined. They're not trustworthy. They're greedy. They have no ethical or moral boundaries. They're constantly going after the real estate and business of somebody else. They have no gifts to offer. There's nothing there that they can offer your business or your life. They're very unfriendly and hostile. They didn't get the gift, so they could not cause you a death. They did not get their wings. They did not earn the gift, and they couldn't steal it from you. This sweetheart wife has a new tribe, a new family, and they are victorious over whatever this is. The strength of this tribe is overwhelming these ones, and they're causing them a failure. The magic that they did is destroying their health. And we've got lover. Envy. So they're envious. This is a lover who is envious. Maybe you knew this person in the past, or maybe they're envious of your lover. This King of Wands wife, sweetheart. This King of Wands is disconnecting these ones from this sweetheart's light, this star, this wife. So there's a secret. They need a loan. So they're coming in friendly, offering an apology. But they were bragging about bringing chaos to your life. And now they're sorry about their perspective about you. They don't know what to do about the rumors that are going around. And they need your support, or they're curious about who it is that is supporting you, that's protecting you. They have plans for entertainment. Or they have entertainment plans. This is an imposter who took unsolicited advice, and they're coming forward to ask for a small favor. They're coming forward laughing, acting like they're happy, but they're very negative and they need a safe space. There's a lot of yelling going on. Somebody's trying to give them advice, but there's a lot of yelling going on. They're a trickster and they got bad news. It could be that they feel as though they've gotten tricked, or maybe they want to trick you. They feel obligated to associate with you because of the work that you're doing. They want to sabotage your future. And you know the truth of it, and you're uninterested in this person because they are being dishonest. They have not grown at all, and they're trying to reconnect to the past. And they want to do that pretending that they are love on a date night. They're saying goodbye to their health because you're traveling and you're being welcomed into a safe space because you are full of empathy. You're getting given emotional support, you're getting a safe space, and you're getting assistance with something big. So you're not alone, for sure. You got a whole tribe of people here with you. Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups, King of Cups, Page of Swords, that's 5. King of Cups, it was in the other deck too, showing a tower because they betrayed love. And he's got all these youngers here trying to distract this King of Wands while he targets this sweetheart wife. Oh, they're envious of the gifts of soul that you have. They're envious of the gifts of your soul. They don't have those gifts, and they could not steal them from you. They're very hostile right now because you won. Yeah, so they're trying to play friendly so that they can get revenge. The Most High is turning the wheel. The law of cause and effect is in order. Justice is being served. The Hierophant is here. Completion of this cycle. The World card is here. These ones are protesting, but they need to learn to accept the things that they cannot change. Lots of people are talking about these ones deliberately manipulating the perception of reality until people doubted their own experiences. Their intentions are not pure. They have no intentions of improving anybody's life. They want to fight. They want to fight. They're getting kicked off the foundation because they're a foe wearing masks, pretending to be an abundant, limitless being. And this is great news. They have a skewed perspective. They're not a limitless, abundant being. They're upside down. They're in South Node and they're wearing a mask and harvesting energy and mental, intellectual property off of those who are actually receiving messages. And then they're pretending. So yeah, they're getting kicked out of the territory. There is a Nine of Cups. Wish come true. You've got your freedom here. This is an end of a conflict. There's no more grief in the house. We've got your profession here. Somebody's working real hard. We've got checking in to make sure everything is going well. It could be that somebody who is being displaced wants to check in. You've got a life of luxury coming up, and this Page of Swords who is spying on contracts in order to lay their karma or sin or whatever they got. They were blaming other people or making other people carry the responsibility for their piss poor attitude and habitual patterning. They were transferring their sin onto other people. They'd spy on the room, and then they'd go get a relationship, and then they would transfer their sin and their nastiness onto the person and give them a life of suffering. They're very desperate because you may have blocked them online, or they're just getting separated from you, and they're getting separated from this other person, whoever that is. There's privacy. You're getting your privacy. They're desperate. They can't reach out to anybody. They're in a bind, and they don't have anyone to reach out to because they can't get into the minds of anybody and find out who can help them. Dominance. So they could be desperate to dominate somebody, or they're being desperate because they are being dominated. They're being separated. They're being cut off. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. There's swift action here. There could be air travel. Something's happening. Something's moving very quickly for this Ace of Cups. Love. Proposal, marriage. These are unions, like a spouses coming together of service, being of service to the realm, to the people. They were not able to bring a death to that. They did not earn their wings. This page did not earn their wings, and they got something on their chest. There's something on their chest they need to vent. They got to get it off their chest. They need to offload it. They're desperate. They're being dominated by whatever it is. I don't know. They're being dominated by their own mind, by their own bad magic. They don't have any seeds. They didn't plant any seeds. They can't pull up your seeds anymore. They don't have a savings. There's no backup plan. They're disconnected from the star, from your energy. And this Knight of Wands is being unpredictable. They don't know what to do. This whole network of people, of friends, they're in their South Node. They have no friends. Nobody wants to work with them. They're coming forward to pretend like they are a friend. They're hiding the fact that they're an enemy, looking for revenge. They're in grief. They're in grief. Oh, we got a Knight of Cups here. It looks like they're distracting this King of Wands while this King of Cups is targeting this sweetheart, trying to collaborate, trying to work together. This is a scavenger that's targeting this sweetheart wife of this King of Wands while he's being distracted. So just be aware of that. It's a scavenger. They're trying to scavenge this sweetheart. Oh. So those who are bringing conflict are confused. The illusion is seen. They need forgiveness, or they're asking for forgiveness, because you've got a victory here. You have triumphed over this bad energy. The wife is here with a new tribe. With a new tribe. It could be that they're triumphing over the illusion. Over the illusion. The illusion that they tried to lay upon this sweetheart wife. So she's seen very clearly, and all these people, all these masculines are getting disconnected from her light. So these greedy people that are untrustworthy, they want to reconnect, or they have been constantly spying on the minds of people to see who has real estate, who has a business, who has gifts, who is disciplined, who's building with their life. And then they would go out and try to get a relationship, but they're very untrustworthy. So right now they're hostile. They're very hostile because they were not able to take your gifts, which is a business, which is land, and which is a union, a marriage. We're very upset. They're very greedy. They want what you have. You and your family you and your new family have triumphed over this illusion, this mirror magic, whatever this is. Survival. Survival. They're hostile. They're looking at survival. They have to survive. Maybe they're very hostile that you did survive. You're very strong, and they're exhausted. They've been disconnected from your light, and they're failing. They're failing. They did all that magic, and their health is in the reverse. They're failing. They're a lover, or they're envious of your lover. Yeah, envy is out there twice. They're envious of the gifts of the soul that you possess. They're envious of your love and the fact that you are connected here as a sweetheart wife. Their magic is backfiring. Their health is failing. We've got communication. So they're astral projecting, remote viewing, wandering around in your house, trying to get inside your head. They may want to talk to you. You've grown. You grew through all of the damage, all of the vile, defiling, degrading behaviors that they laid upon you, and you survived it, and you grew from it, you elevated, and now you've exposed it. You've exposed the mischief and the trickery that they've been doing within the community while laying it onto other people, while isolating the actual anomaly. So they were isolating the actual anomaly. They were doing trickery and illusion magic, wearing masks. While the anomaly was isolated, they were attacking this person real hard. And they did it as a team. They thought it was fun. It was entertainment. But now your heart bond is protected. So King of Wands and Sweetheart Wife, your heart bond is protected. These ones, there's like a guarantee. You're out of here. These ones can't trap you or keep you. No matter what they're doing, it's not going to work, because gods and goddesses much greater than them have said they will not ever take this back from you. They won't ever get it back. This is the end of their relationship with batteries. They cannot have it. You will not ever serve these people again. They will not ever be in your grace, receiving charity from you at all. So they're afraid. They're at risk. They were warned. Or there is a warning. They're being warned about resistance. By the night, in the night. Could be that you're anticipating some abundance, some luck. These ones are in upheaval over the routine that they were on, constantly going over and back, crossing the half-court line, double standards, distracting people. They were watching people. And how they were getting their stuff, right? And then they would mimic them. with this mask in the environment here. So they need to make preparations. That balance is being restored, and they are being released from this commitment. Their commitment to an empty nest. They were committed to an empty nester. They didn't want any children born. They wanted everyone that was born to be in poverty or to suffer, and then to grow up to be a fragmented, suffering adult who, you know, couldn't think about beyond eating or whatever. So yeah, they're being released because they're an empty nester, and they were dedicating their lives to that. You've got a new direction here, and you are free. You are free. This sacred space is there, and nothing is going to touch it. They will not be able to curse this sacred space ever again. They're out, and you're in, and you can see them clearly. It could be that they are at a distance, they're being put at a distance, they're receiving wrath. They're receiving wrath, and they might be getting it by Mother Nature for being such a damn negative influence. Hurting everything and everyone. I'll just pull a few of these. Yeah, they're triggered. They're big time triggered because they're false. They were wearing a mask. They were in the garden. They were in the garden, and there was enemies, lots of them. Lots of them. They were trying to overtake it, and they did. They were brutalizing everything, and it was trickling down, and I guess this is it. This is it. The Most High said this is it. You're fighting. They're in a battle right now. They're in a battle. The Most High is here delivering the law of cause and effect. Justice is being served. They're fighting it. They're protesting it. They got it. This is a troll. They don't have anything to offer. All they want to do is fight and bicker and yell and downgrade others. Rather than work on upgrading the value of their own soul, they work on depleting the value of others. And they call that success. But it's not a success for Mother Nature. She's like, you've been sucking the life out of everything while you've been telling stories and hurting people. Lots of things are being said. They're getting kicked out of the garden. They're getting kicked out. They're leaving home. This is a mask wearer who is a foe, pretending to be an abundant, limitless being who can manifest whatever they want in the physical reality. But the thing is that they don't have the mind for it. They don't have the mind. They have an upside down perspective. They are in South Node. They can't create anything. All they can do is dress up in other people's energy and steal their thoughts, take credit for the telepathy that's coming through an actual anomaly that they have left in isolation, and they're stealing the thoughts while they get in there into the brain with cyberware or whatever, and then they claim those thoughts as their own, and it's just not true. So we got great news. They're getting kicked out of the garden. The Oracle is delivering great news. This is a foe, a gaslighting manipulator, getting kicked out of the garden. This fashion witch. And the starseed is getting the land back. The true. Wish come true, you've got your freedom. This is an end of this conflict. They can't bring you any more grief. Look, we've got black square in the reverse. Black square is somebody who does the least to gain the most, and they're not getting anything. There's no black squares. These black squares that do the least to gain the most by stealing and hurting other people, they're getting displaced. They're getting kicked out of the garden. They got to get off the territory. They got to get off the territory. They want to check in, but they got to get out. They're being displaced. They're feral. They have no morals, no ethics, no values. You've got a wish come true here. You're coming into the fruits of your labor, a life of luxury. A life of luxury. But you've got this Page of Swords here who's spying on contracts, blaming other people for their own crap. They're getting kicked off the online community. They're getting separated from whoever it is that they've been with. They're getting separated from telepathy land. They're out of the room. They're getting disconnected from the mind, from that. And they're desperate. They're desperate. They could be dominated right now. They might be getting dominated. They could not trauma bond you to a shadow demon. So they're being dominated. And they're desperate. They made some agreements. So very quickly, we're moving into the Ace of Cups, love. These partners, these unions will be here in service to the community. They were not able to stop this. They did not earn their wings. They got to get something off their chest. They didn't plant any seeds. They don't have a savings. They don't have anything that they can rely on. They were counting on you going away so that they could step into your shoes and then assume the role with all of the finances and the goodness that comes with that. These are feral people. They did not earn their wings, and they're getting disconnected from the star, from your energy, from your life force, from hope. They have no hope. They have no purpose. This Knight of Wands is coming forward. Mr. Prince Charming, Mr. Passion Project, doesn't know what to do. His friends aren't working with him anymore. He has no friends. We've got enemy in the reverse. It could be that your friends want revenge, or maybe they're cloaking themselves as an enemy to gain revenge. They're in grief. It could be that you weren't an enemy and they tried to get revenge on you for what? You didn't do anything except get fed on like a freaking spider, wrapped you all up, and they started dissolving you and sucking your life force energy out of you, while making you process death energy, black energy. We've got a narcissist here. So they're in grief. You're not a narcissist. You're not a narcissist. You weren't an enemy. They tried to get revenge on you, but you were just the mirror that they were looking into, and they saw what they were, and they said it was you, and then they tried to take you out. But now they're disconnected from the light, and now they can see that you weren't an enemy. You weren't the narcissist. They tried to get revenge on somebody that wasn't hurting them, and now it could be that they're in grief because your tribe here, your new family tree, is getting revenge on them. Knight of Cups looks like he's trying to distract this King of Wands. You've got this King of Cups here. He has no balance. He has no temperance energy. He's not persevering. He's not persevering through this. He's a scavenger. He's a scavenger. He might be targeting this sweetheart, trying to work with her. He's not getting the land back. There's no collaboration. He's a scavenger. He scavenged the sweetheart's land. He stole it from her. It's like, you know, a couple days ago or a few days ago, I got the message that somebody was allowed to be there. They were permitted presence in the garden. And then they turned around and they stole everything and hurt everything. This King of Cups is not a King of Cups. This King of Cups is somebody who siphons energy on the regular. They're in a tower. They're not persevering. They're out of balance because they were scavenging the land of this sweetheart who agreed to work with them or whatever. Yeah, this is a bad, bad dude. They're not getting the land back. They're getting kicked off the land. Them and all of their friends here are getting kicked off the land. They were bringing competition, and now they're confused. This wife is here with a new tribe. There's forgiveness, or they're seeking forgiveness. There's a victory here for this wife and her new tribe. There's a victory over the illusions that were being cast, over the conspiracy theories There's a victory over the conspiracy theories that were told about this wife. Knight of Wands is here, leaving home, wanting to reconcile. They're greedy. They're not trustworthy. They want to get with somebody who is disciplined, somebody who has real estate. They did not get the gifts. They're hostile. They could be hostile about your survival, the fact that you survived and you have a new tribe and that you're protected. And this is being announced, like it's being announced. You survived. It's being announced. You survived. They're very hostile about it. This person is a love bombing gaslighter. They blame everybody that they get intimate encounters with for their foul deeds and their foul agenda. They create conspiracy theories regarding the anomalies while they are in isolation, kept away from everybody. You survived and you're announcing it. You're telling it as it is. And they're disconnected from you. They can no longer attach themselves to the stars or the star energy. They got to stay in their own lane. They're envious of your love. They're envious of your strength. They're envious of the gifts of your soul that you utilize to benefit yourself and others. This service that you're here to provide. You're here for a purpose, a specific purpose, regarding love, regarding union, regarding family trees, regarding the health and well-being of Mother Gaia. They got to stay in their own lane. They're nasty. And the magic that they did, trying to bind you, trying to destroy your world, is on them now. And their health is failing. This cult leader is triggered. They're jealous over your privileged status. They were warned that you take care of yourself. But they thought you were a bitch and wanted to snack on you. They wanted to feed you to the black hole soul that they're committed to. This fashion witch. You're a starseed unicorn. You're special. Like, you're a myth. You weren't supposed to exist. This simp does the most for somebody who cares the least. You're an influencer with a billionaire status. Your story has been told throughout the galaxy. You're an empath. You care about people. These people were love bombing and gaslighting everybody, but you're a legend. And what you're doing is telling this vampire to go get F. It's like, it's over. Just get out of here. You know, they tried to get revenge on somebody who was not an enemy, who was not a narcissist. They tried to destroy somebody who was a sweetheart wife. And these guys are just nasty little trolls wearing masks, trying to destroy special people. But it requires a relationship. They have to get access to the energy. They have to get permission to do magic in the energy. But you know what? These people don't do that either. They come into a single person's house or even a married couple's house while they're sleeping in their bed. And then they do intimate things with them as they sleep. And you wake up having a big O, right? And then they harvest that energy. And then they use that energetic signature to go do baneful magic. And then they blame the one that they harvested off of. Without permission, without relationship, they did not have right to do that. So because they could not unalive you, you survived. All of this is being announced by the Oracle. The true limitless abundant being, not the faker. And that's great news. So this is the message. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I hope that this clarifies something you already intuitively knew, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.